Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're checking out another older Gundam kit. This is, of course, the HG Wing Zero Custom. You can see this one still has the Walmart sticker on it and the free Earn Your Rank medal on there. So some pretty cool relics from the past here, from days of Gunpla availability, over 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I guess, around there. So this is going to be a really fun one. Obviously it's not going to be the greatest kit in the world, but, fun for nostalgia purposes to take a look back at some of the HG Endless Waltz kits. They're actually not too bad, all things considered. This kit originally released in 1995, and not only this one, coming up in the next upcoming videos, we also have the Tall Geese 3, as well as the Death Scythe Hell Custom, and a big shout out to Riley for hooking me up with these kits again. So if you guys are in the mood to check out some older HG Gundam kits, stay tuned. Let's go ahead and start off here with the Wing Zero Custom. So we recently took a look at another kit from the time, the HG 8th MS Team Gundam and Zaku set model kit that also had this free Earn Your Rank medal sticker on that. It's just a callback to the late 90s, early 2000s when Gunpla was being sold here in the US. Some of the packaging is actually different for some of these as well. Some of the American or international releases for these kits. But here you can see this is from Walmart back in the day for the price of $13.46 compared to the MSRP here, which is actually not on the box, being that this is the American version. They don't print the Japanese yen MSRP on the barcode like they do for the Japanese versions, which is interesting. But anyway, here on the side of the box, you can see in the HG Fighting Action lineup, this is EW01 1/44th scale original video animation version here. And on the bottom of the box, we can see what the kit is going to look like when it's all built up and painted up very nicely. Not going to look that good straight out of the box, but we will see here for the text, which would have been in Japanese. On the Japanese version is here in English, which is pretty cool. And then we've got some more kind of action shots over here showing what you can do with the kit. On the top side of the box, a look at some other kits that are available in the lineup. Really hoping that we will get a new model kit of the Serpent someday soon. That would be awesome, but got some more classic Gundam Wing Endless Waltz mobile suit designs there. So let's break the seal and get some of this over 20-year-old air out of this box here. You guys ready? Breathe that in. 20-plus-year-old air. All right, so we got some stuff that we saw in the other kit, the 8th MS Team kit here from the back in the day, the Earn Your Rank kind of postcard here on the inside where it talked about the different Gunpla skill levels at the time, and then there was like a little questionnaire thing you could fill out and send in. That was pretty interesting to see. And then the same kind of catalog here in this one, just a catalog of different model kits and toy action figures that were available at the time. I want to say just in America, but I don't know about other countries, so it could just be just like an international thing. I don't know if this is only for America or not, and of course we've got our runners. We'll take a look at those in just a moment. I want to first take a look at the instruction manual, which, okay, so for this one, I guess this is maybe a thing for all the Americanized releases of these kits where they give you the original instruction manual, and then they give you another instruction manual, which is in English. So this is going to be all the exact same instructions. It's just that any of this text is going to also have English on it. So they did do this for these kits. It's kind of pointless considering there's very little text that's really very pertinent during the construction process. Here for the Japanese version of the instructions on the inside, you can see we have a bunch of cool stuff there about the story of Gundam Wing, including some different illustrations and model kit scenes here like that at the top. Some more information about the kit there that you saw in the back. Briefly, here's some more images of the built and painted kit, as well as the color guide right there. Yeah, some really interesting stuff here on this. That actually continues on to the other side, so actually a 3-page bit here. Kind of very interesting size and shape for this instruction manual. It feels more like an instruction pamphlet. But here we have the parts list and the construction. I actually don't know if I've ever built one of these HG Gundam Wing Endless Waltz kits before. I don't think I ever did, so this is why it's kind of all new to me. But anyway, we've got some color correcting stickers in here on our foil sticker sheet. A few there in red, blue, yellow, green, stickers for the eyes and all that. So pretty standard for the time, I feel like. And then polycaps here, PC 120 in gray for some polycaps. And our A runner here is going to be in 4 colors. We've got red, blue, one little yellow bit there for the V fan, and some gray over here. Looks like I think those are attachment parts for the wings. Runners B and C are going to be our white armor pieces here. There's for like the body. Runner C is essentially just the parts for the wings there, as well as the beam sabers. So bad news that the beam sabers are just going to be all molded in white, and the wing parts just like one piece each, and they're like really super thin too. And if you look real close, you can see even though on the actual like runner there's a ton of flash there, you can see how that really rough edge all around here is all the flash on the runner. And the parts look okay though. So I mean, obviously sanding the mold lines around here, the edge there, you can see like some flash around on that part. So they're going to take some sanding to get them nice and smoothed out. It looks like it's a good amount of flash on these parts. But anyway, runner D here in a nice warm gray color. It looks like mostly parts for the beam rifles, and that's about it for all the parts. Some nice detail on these, I will say. Let me go ahead and get this built up and we'll check it out. All right, guys, and here is the kit all built up. I mean, at a glance, it looks pretty good. I mean, overall, the details and the proportions, not too bad looking for a 90s HG, but like a 90s HG, it does have a lot of seam lines on there and some of the typical faults of the era. I mean, like it's pretty reliant on stickers for any kind of color separation, and even still, it's still missing some of the correct colors. And it's got stuff like the polycap hands, which are not good, but you know, you can get new hands for these if you wanted to. We'll talk some more about that in just a minute. And there's some other interesting bits, but again, at the end of the day, I mean, if you're just looking at it at a glance, it's not too bad looking overall, I feel like. Even though there are better options for this kit in 1/144 scale, namely the real grade kit, of course, but if you wanted something with a little bit more nostalgic appeal to it and definitely a lighter price tag, this is one that, I don't know, you may be interested in. So let's go ahead and check it out here in some more detail. And so on the topic of those hands here, just to start off, it's a little bit of good news and bad news. The good news is we have some nice options. The bad news is just they're all just polycap materials. So they're going to be in just one color and in that softer type PP plastic, but we've got closed fists for both the left and the right side. And then we've got a set weapon holding hands for the left and the right side, and a set of open hands for the left and the right side. So that's more hands than even most typical modern day HGs come with. So kind of can't complain too much about that. And as for what we're going to hold in those hands, we've of course got our 2 beam sabers here, which are just going to be molded all in white, unfortunately. So I want to break out some paint or Gundam marker, or even just like one of those metallic Sharpies. You can get like a metallic green Sharpie. Color that at the very least would be kind of nice, just to add a little bit of color to those. And then we've got the twin Buster rifle here. I've got these attached. You can just pull these apart and they attach pretty easily. You can see there's just 2 little tabs that basically plug them together. This part here at the bottom is supposed to like fold up for when they're separated. It doesn't actually fold up, so when they're separated, it's just going to stay like this. There's not actually a sticker for the camera. I just cut a little piece off the sticker sheet there just to make that where it should be like a camera lens there, make it look a little bit more shiny. The other thing is that once you have them attached together, of course you do have the 2 handles, but the handles do actually move, so that's kind of a interesting positive. You might not expect that on a kit like this. You might expect the handles are just fixed as well, but fortunately they're not, so you can fold one of those in when you have these attached like that. So you are going to have seam lines on these, of course, just kind of like with everything else on the kit. Last accessory then is just going to be an optional torso piece. So because we actually don't really have any articulation in the torso built into this at all, and we'll talk some more about the articulation here in just a moment. Basically what they give you is just an alternative torso, which already has like the ab crunch there, and also the pegs for connecting the arms bent forward for doing that kind of final shot pose. This torso should make that a bit easier. We'll try that out here in a moment. Let's talk a little bit about the stickers here. Now, you do have a sticker for that green jewel on the chest, and nice that for the extra torso here, you get a sticker for that and polycaps for that, so you don't have to worry about like disassembling anything, or like you can only get one of those stickers and you have to choose. So you do get all the stickers, all the polycaps, everything for this alternate torso too. That's nice. You have a sticker here for the eyes. You do not get stickers for the head cameras. Those also are just little bits that I cut off of the extra of the sticker sheet. I cut little squares there for those cameras on the heads. That's not something that you actually get on there. The red part of the chin there, that's also a sticker. Pretty easy to tell the stickers on this because the stickers are all sort of metallic, which is kind of odd. It's not really noticeable there on the chin because it's such a small little bit, but you can see like here on the front of the shoulders, that blue circle right there, sticker is there, and of course it just doesn't match the blue plastic and that dark blue metallic sticker. The yellow are not looking quite so metallic. You do have yellow stickers that wrap around there for the tops of the shoulders. You do have stickers for these green bits here on the sides of the forearm right there. And then at the crotch section here, blue stickers for the parts on the sides of the front skirt, a red sticker there for the top of the center of the skirting armor right there. So it's a fair bit of stickers, but you can see that even if you didn't have the stickers on there, I mean, it wouldn't be a huge difference. These ones here on the shoulders definitely help to break it up because normally it would just be white and blue. So the extra bit of blue and the bit of yellow do make for some nice accents. All the rest of it, though, I mean, you know, wouldn't be too bad looking without the stickers. Now, as for the articulation, like I said, in the torso, there's basically nothing. You just have a ball joint between the top and bottom half of the body. You do have a ball joint here for the neck as well, so that's just going to be able to move up and down a little bit side to side there. The arms are just connected via a straight peg onto there, so they're not going to move forward and back at all. The shoulder armor you can move up, the arms you can bring up to less than 90 degrees there. You can rotate at the top of the elbow joint, which is just a polycap, exposed polycap there as well, which also not ideal, but our single joint there at the elbow is going to give you about 90 degrees. The wrists are just on a ball joint here as well. The front skirt armor is connected. You cannot clip the front skirt armor apart like you would on like a lot of modern HGs. If you do that, they will not stay in place. So, I mean, you'd have to modify it if you wanted those to be able to move separately. And you can see as I'm moving that, it's peeling the sticker up here. The sticker is probably not going to stay on very long because these stickers are so old. The adhesive is probably just not going to be as strong. And so expect to probably see some of the stickers peeling up over the course of this review. These side skirts will also move up and down a little bit here like so. And then going around here to the back skirt, that's going to be just fixed in place. The wings we'll come back to in just a moment. The hips, as you might imagine, are just connected via a ball and socket joint there. And you'll notice there is no hole in the hip section there for plugging this onto an action base. So if you want to have this on an action base, you'll have to either drill a hole there or use the fork style action base adapter. So ultimately, you can bring the leg up to about here before the front skirt's just going to be limiting that. So your forward extension of the leg is going to be a bit limited. You do have a double joint here in the knee, which again is just polycaps there for the exposed knee joint, unfortunately. But you do have a double joint, which is going to give you a pretty full bend there. No separation of the knee armor, of course. And the feet are also just connected via a ball joint there as well. So you have a little bit of forward and back movement, a little bit of side to side movement up underneath the feet. You will have some detail there, as well as a big seam line. So something to keep in mind. And then let's talk about the wings here. So there's quite a bit of articulation built into these. These back wings can move side to side. You can rotate them, and then you can extend these out like that. So pretty normal. And then for the front wings, these will also move side to side, up and down here. You can rotate this joint to be able to move this kind of all around. I don't think that we can articulate these all the way around to be able to close up in the front like it's supposed to. Let me see if I can get this sorted out here. Oh, actually, it does take a little bit of finagling, but according to the manual, you should be able to do it like this. You have to kind of turn it around the connection arm. You have to like turn it almost like upside down essentially, and try not to knock off the V-fin while you're there. Then you can close this up. It shouldn't be that high. You should be able to see the head right here. So it can do it essentially, that you can close the wings up like that. But I mean, as you can see, these front part of the wings are also supposed to like fold out so that they're not like overlapping like that. So it's not like exactly right, but I mean, essentially you can do it. So I mean, it's not too bad. And one other interesting thing to point out here about the wings, the reason why I noticed why that runner, and then here on the actual parts as well, you will notice some parts where you might see a little bit of flash around on these wing parts, is that these wing parts are actually in a somewhat softer material, not the same like polystyrene, like hard polystyrene like you see for basically everything else. It's not exactly soft like polycap, but sort of somewhere in between. So that, as I would imagine, molded in that way just so that you don't accidentally break any of these like fine feather details, even though they're not really particularly that fine. And the wings end up being like very, very flat here, both of them. But kind of interesting that it was decided to mold these in that somewhat softer plastic for those. So as for trying out some different poses here with this kit, a couple things that those polycap hands can be, the ball joint for them can be a little bit kind of loose if you're holding the beam rifles, just because they are a little bit heavy on there. So you may want to try to tighten up those ball joints for the hands a little bit. Not really too big of an issue. Otherwise, most of the rest of the kit is actually quite solid. So posing this, it doesn't really feel too janky or anything. All the rest of the polycap joints do hold up pretty well. Now that said, of course, there is going to be certainly some limitations to the pose that you can do with this just because of the limited articulation. Getting it up on a stand is definitely going to make it look a lot nicer just in terms of the pose that you can do. So I would recommend getting a stand for this. Having it just stand on the ground on its own, not up on an action base, you are going to have some balance issues. It is going to be back heavy, but you can actually use those front wings if you have them positioned in a particular way. You can actually have them just touching the ground to help to kind of balance it out, basically making a sort of like tripod effect using those wings there. So you can actually use them to your advantage if you don't have this up on a base. But I mean, as you can see here, despite its flaws, I mean, considering what the kit is and when it came out, it's not a bad looking kit by any means. I think it's a pretty good looking kit. It actually looks pretty nice. So ultimately, if you really want the kit looking its best, you are going to have quite a bit of work cut out for you, but it's one that you could definitely work with, I feel like. And you know, if you don't feel like doing all that work, you can certainly pick up the RG and save yourself a whole lot of trouble. But this one does work actually really quite well. And it can even do that final shot pose really nicely with the help of that alternate torso part. It works really nicely for that. So I gotta say, definitely impressed with this kit despite just some simple flaws just due to its age. But let me know what you guys think of the kit down in the comment section below. Is this a kit that you have, or did you ever build this way back in the day, or is it one that you're still searching for nowadays? Let me know in the comment section. And as always, guys, if you want to check out some more Gunpla for yourself, you can check out the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. We've got a lot of great stuff there on the website, so check that out. And as always, guys, thank you so much for all of your support, whether you're leaving a like here on the video, making sure that you're subscribed. I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. Till next time, hope you all have a great day. See y'all later. Bye, guys.